Have you ever been in an explosion? Have you ever almost been in an explosion? Well, I have, and needless to say, it wasn't fun. But sometimes you can make videos about them for people to see. So here we go, the international incident. Let me tell you, this is one of the scariest, weirdest, funniest, strangest, wildest, craziest stories that I have. Anyway, whenever I think about this story, usually when I should be paying attention to my science teacher, I still say, wow. So here we go. Oh, and also a quick side note, I just got a new microphone, so sorry if I sound different. Let's get started. I've been to Paris twice in my life, and the first time was a breeze. Sincerely, one of the coolest places I've ever been to. And my mom and I had a really nice hotel right off the Champs-Élysées. When we got there on our first stay, we had no clue where to go for dinner. And I needed food fast, because I was hungry. So we walked down our street, only to find a steak restaurant really close by. So cool. We got there, and I got a juicy filet mignon as a treat, and this was such a good steak. Now listen, I don't say that often. Guys, I've had good steaks from Texas Roadhouse, Outback, and IHOP. This was a nice slice of meat. Also, this is where I started doing something called Gordon Ramsaying, which is just adding a lot more salt and pepper to my steaks. And I've been Gordon Ramsaying every single one of my steaks for the past 3 years. There is no point in telling you that. Back to the video! Like I said, I've been to Paris twice. And the second time, let's just say it was a lot different. So now my mom and I are in Paris again, and we can't find a good place to have dinner. Again. And let me tell you, for a country that has good food, there was not one place around that had an appetizing-looking menu. What is tete de veau and deep-fried butterflies? So after walking around for a bit, I remembered that steak restaurant from last time. I told my mom, and she was on board with the idea. That was our first mistake. You see, this time we were staying by the Louvre, and the restaurant was all the way over on the Champs-Élysées. So it wasn't too bad of a drive, but it was definitely too far to walk. Now there's one thing they don't tell you about France. Getting a ride is either really easy or a nightmare. It was always one or the other, but today we could not find a cab to save our lives. What? So we look around, only to find one of these things. We looked at each other and thought, it can't be as bad as waiting 30 more minutes. Boy, were we wrong. So we tell the driver where we're going, and he tells us it's going to be about 25 euros. 25 euros. So we say okay and hop in. That was our second mistake. We didn't make any more mistakes after that. The rest was his fault. He started pedaling as we were taking in the view of the Louvre at about 6 miles an hour. I seriously think that deep-fried butterfly could have gone faster. Anyway, we were not even driving for 5 minutes when the driver turned into this fancy city square. And it was barricaded. We thought this was pretty weird, but we tried not to think much of it at first. We thought, oh, perhaps he knew a shortcut. Then he stopped. Before we could even realize what he stopped for, 12 cops surrounded us with guns the size of my legs. I thought we were about to get blasted into particles. But thankfully not. They seemed nice enough. Then this Maine policeman walked up, with a gun no shorter than a meter. The cop talked to the driver for a few seconds, and I have no clue what they said, but it was probably something like, ooh, oui, oui, baguette, croissant, oui, 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 baguette, croissant, oui, oui. It was definitely something like that. Then the cop turned to us and asked us if we spoke French. We couldn't really understand him that well, but we put the pieces together, and we politely said no. Then all of a sudden, the cop told us to get out of the thing. The thing. You can call it whatever you want. Once we got out, they immediately checked the trunk, the seats, the steering wheel, name any part of the thing, and they checked it. After they checked everything, which seemed to be the longest 5 minutes of my life, they sent us on our way. My mom and I had no clue what we had just gone through, but we knew it wasn't normal. Actually, you know what? Maybe it was normal. A lot of weird things happen in France. So it's been a while, and we're still riding around, and I had almost forgotten about the police thing for a second. And this driver was trying really, really hard to upsell us for some more cheddar. This guy had already asked us if we would like a tour of the Eiffel Tower and Notre Dame. Twice. but we were hungry, so we respectfully declined. Then he asked us, Miss Monsieur, would you like a picture on the bridge? Then we figured, he's not going to stop talking, so he said fine. So as we get out of the thing, the driver gets out too. And as my mom is getting the phone app ready, we look up to see the man running off the bridge, disappearing from sight. And just like that, he was gone. Every scenario went through my mind. Was this a prank? Did he see a family member on the streets? Then I looked at it. Or did the cops miss the hidden bomb? The next thing I knew, my mom grabbed me by the wrist, looked me dead in the eyes, and said, "Run." All time stopped for a few seconds, and then we had only made it a few steps when all of a sudden, "Madame! Monsieur!" We turned around only to see the driver come back into view again. As he ran towards us, he revealed a piece of his bike that fell off a while back that he needed to go get. I had no clue whether to laugh or be mad. We reluctantly get back in the thing, and he started pedaling again. Another very long 20 minutes, and we finally get to the steakhouse. We actually had him drop us off 2 blocks away from it, because this guy was on my last nerve. He, along with us, are grateful to never see each other ever again. So we started walking, and the steakhouse came into view. I could taste the juicy filet mignon, the freshly cracked pepper, the feeling that I would finally be able to eat my well-deserved. The steak restaurant was closed. I'm sorry, honey. Oh, come on, are you kidding me? No internet? And there's not a taxi for miles. I mean, I guess we could always